Hi everyone. We're going to be trying to draw graffiti lettering today. In this case, I'm going to do CSD here. I'm just going to use that as reference. What I want to do is I just want to make a light outline of the letters. I want to make it so it's very light. I'll make this one a little bit bigger than the other, why not? But I want to space them out far enough to give myself room to make them bigger. So let's see, I'm going to do D here. It's a little close, but we'll see if it works. So now we're going to make these bigger. We're going to add an outline around them. So let's see. I'm going to make my C. Just going to expand where this line is here. I'm going to do the same thing with the S. I'm going to draw around those lines and expand it out just a little bit. Expanding outside like that. I'm going to do the same thing for the D. I'm going to have it be touching the S a little bit. Making this thicker here, as if we're just expanding that line and making it wider. So right now we have that. I'm going to erase those inner lines because I don't need those anymore. So now I have some bubble lettering. Now I'm going to add a couple little accents. I'm going to add a little square over here on each end, extending it out a little bit. I don't mind that it is crossing over the S. It's kind of a fun little way to connect the letters. This here. I'm going to make a little box over here. And a little box over here. Now we've got those three letters there. Now we're going to use a marker. And we are going to outline those. Just the outline. I'm not going to draw any of these interior lines. I'm just going to draw the outer lines. Where they overlap, I'm only going to draw those outer lines. Just using a nice thick Sharpie for this. Keep going, following my lines over here. Now I'm not going to do these interior lines, I'm only going to do the exterior. Make this D right here. I'm not following it absolutely exactly, that's not a big deal. All the outlines here. There we go. Now we've got that outline. We can erase the interior lines, but we don't need to do it yet. I'm just going to do it so you can see what it looks like. But you can erase them, but be careful. You do not smudge what you have. Don't erase over the marker yet. You can always do that later. So now I have these kind of cool looking letters. Now I'm going to add some shadows. Now you can do it in perspective, but we haven't gone over that yet, so it doesn't have to match exactly. Let's just add another outline here. I'm just going to follow around what is already there. Here, I'm going to follow this line here. Let's see, I'll follow this line just a little bit further down. This line here, I'll follow that one. This one here, I'm going to follow that. So that is going to give me a neat shadow effect. So I'm going to take my marker again. I'm going to follow that. And do the same, just following the lines that I made in pencil. Doesn't have to be exactly, just very roughly. That's starting to get a nice three-dimensional effect. What I want to do from here is fill that in and make it solid. Do an example from the first two letters. Just do this quickly. I would do it much slower than I'm doing right now. Just doing it quicker for demonstration purposes. So that's one option. Another option is to do it like shading, where we could do what we did with cross-hatching or single hatching, where we put the lines close together, and then as we moved away from here, we moved them further and further apart to give it a shadow effect. Could do the same thing here. The lines are close together, and as I move away, I'm going to have them further and further apart. That also gives you a three-dimensional effect, just in a different way. You can do it any way that you want. You can use cross-hatching if you wish. Have it like that. And in some areas, have it crossed. Whatever you prefer. And if you decide you don't like it, you can always just color it over it. Whichever you prefer. I'll try this again, close together, a little bit further apart, a little bit further. There we go. Decide I don't like that one, I'm going to color over that. An easy way to fix some mistakes, but do it more slowly than me because you won't mess up like that. So from here, I'd like to add some kind of pattern in there. Let's see, what kind of pattern do I want? I'm going to do a cracked pattern. So I'm just going to draw some lines. You can look up references of cracks online to see what they look like. I've drawn a lot of cracks in the past and I've studied how they look. So that's helped me be able to do it on my own right now, but I only did that because I studied it. And they don't look perfect anyway. If I wanted them to look really good, what I would want to do is look up those designs. Once I have that, I'm just going to add those cracks in, fill them in with marker, follow the lines I made. If I didn't make lines I liked, I'll just erase the pencil before I put on the marker. So I like doing everything in pencil first, so that if I mess up, it's not permanent. So that kind of gets a neat pattern there. And so from here, so after this dries, we'll erase the marker, but not until after it dries. So from thereafter, what we're going to want to do is we want to add something in the background. I'm going to do a splash. And the thing with splashy backgrounds too is you'll also want to look up reference to see what it looks like, because this is something that I have drawn many times before and I've studied, and that's the only reason I have any idea as to what I'm doing right now. So if it looks like I know what I'm doing, when I was your age, I absolutely did not. There we go. And from there, I can always color this in if I want to. I could always leave that if I wanted. You can make all kinds of different shades, and I can add some more patterns if I wanted. I could have done stripe patterns. And so any number of things. And from here, after we do all of the little pieces, I'll probably add some more cracks in here. Then we'll move on to coloring.